What is happening, everybody? Happy Father's Day. If you have a father, well, I guess everyone does, but contact them and say, hey, what's up, dude? Happy Father's Day. Contact a father.
That's really all you need.
That's all you need, AYN. Today we're going to be talking about the new Powkiddy V90S. This is a follow-up to my longtime satisfying snap clamshell king, the Powkiddy V90. And you know I love that satisfying snap, but we gotta talk today about the new one on the block. This is one I've been super excited about for a very long time, ever since it was first announced, and we've waited. You know, Miyoo has come along and brought in their new clamshell, and then Anbernic even had a chance to release another clamshell with the RG35XX SP. And man, Ban, I don't know about you, but I am ready for the return of the budget king, the cheapest clam option.
I'm ready for that too. The V90 was holding on to that for, well, in terms of clamshells, for the longest time. And I don't think we've had anything at that like $50 mark or under since.
Yeah, I don't think so either. You know, with Anbernic coming in usually around the $50, $60 price point, of course, they're pretty competitive with their latest SP, right? What was that, $55?
$55, $60, but then you had to pay for your own shipping.
Right, yeah, pay for your own shipping. And so in the end, Powkiddy does win again, right? As far as the cheapest cheap.
Oh, yeah. Theirs was, I want to say, $45. Technically plus the $10 shipping that they have now, but you can use, like, I think it's Powkiddy Love or something similar to bring it down to $50.
I got that. I got to add that to the description. That's right, Powkiddy Love. We even have a RH Powkiddy discount code. I think it's just RH. I got to double check.
I think it is.
Yeah, we'll have to add that in. But this is available direct from Powkiddy.com, or if you want to pick it up from AliExpress, whichever is your flavor. Also going to be available from Mech DIY, from Go Game Geek. So stay tuned there. There's going to be a little bit higher priced, but it does give you the benefit of having usually, I don't know, I guess you could say expanded customer service options, usually curated ROM sets if you want to get games on it. So that can be a benefit. Also, this will no doubt be on Amazon very soon. Again, for an upcharge. But if you want the cheapest option, this is a budget handheld. I do recommend, if you can do it, Powkiddy.com or AliExpress. Now, Ban had his first impressions out. Well, first, he put both a video and an article out, so check that out if you want to get the nitty-gritty as far as like the details and the specs and the unboxing experience. But in today's live stream, we're going to be just diving straight into some game testing. I'm going to be giving my impressions. I've had this a few days now, and I'm already coming away with I have some thoughts, and so we'll talk about it. Initially, I was like, oh my God, like they've done everything right here. But there are, as I'm starting to use it more and more, I'm like, oh, there's a few things that we need to get right here. We're not quite there yet, and so we'll talk about that. So yeah, no unboxing, but we'll compare it to some other Clam favorites. Oh, there we go. Was my mic kind of funny a minute ago?
It was a little quiet, but it kind of just came back up.
Okay, good. All right, well.
I've got plenty of things to compare the V90S to as well.
Okay, cool. Cool. I guess let's just go to the overhead footage.
Oh, yeah.
Let's take a look. So you have the yellow model. I have the red one. Now, this is what's most exciting to me, everybody. Remember how I've made all that hullabaloo over the last, I guess, 5 years about how the original V90 was not true red, and I've been looking for the true candy apple red. I don't think it truly exists. This is the closest I've ever seen. This is a V1 model. It's the closest they ever got. But now they've actually, I mean, they must have listened, man, because look, finally, this is just a shade more deep candy apple red, and I am here for it. I really liked the orange.
I love that red, honestly.
Yeah, it pops.
They kind of went the opposite direction with the yellow.
Yeah.
Because the new one is a shade like paler than the original. And you can kind of see that.
I actually like probably the original yellow better though of those two.
Yeah, I think what we're looking at is just liking those more saturated toy-like colors.
Right. It's like the color keys on your keyboard there. Like if you're going to go color at all, you might as well make it the most vibrant poppy color that you can. Just go nuts on it. These kind of pale hues, I want to call them the pastels. I don't know. I just don't know.
It's definitely a look in terms of the yellow, but they definitely have done the red right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, the red looks great. Yellow's a little more pale. There is a supposed, I guess, a black model or a white model that's on
So,
the way.
yeah, on the box they have a little box that says B and W, which everyone's assuming is just black and white.
Black and white, okay. Like a panda.
Oh yeah, I'd like a panda,
I'd love a
honestly.
panda. Mm. So here we go, looking at this. Yeah, 45 bucks there. Transparent black is an option, the yellow, the red, and then there's a gray as well. Now the gray is kind of interesting. This is a very no frills, muted option. If you really want a low key device, maybe if you're drinking a Starbucks or something like that, and you don't want to attract a bunch of attention, like everyone coming over, like, oh, what is that? This might be the one to go for. It's very muted, gray buttons. I don't know how often you're going to be playing a Powkiddy in a Starbucks. Probably just don't go to Starbucks. But having said that, I went for the red when I went to buy one. Also, oh man, hold on, my mic is being silly. One second.
Honestly, for anyone who's not aware, the gray and white style kind of reminds me of the original Retroid Pocket 3 in that that off-white colorway. And honestly, I kind of like it. So I think if I'm getting a second V90S, that's probably going to be the one that I get. Especially since the transparent black is kind of something we've all seen before. And I'd probably say most companies have put something out in that color.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, let's see. I'm having some funny mic issues. Did I just drop in volume pretty bad?
Not too bad. I can still hear
Okay.
you just fine.
You can. Okay. Okay. Good. I probably have to replace some cables here. I've been using these ones for years. Okay, so as far as what this can play, this rocks an RK35, or no, sorry, it's an A133P. I almost messed up. It's an A133P, so this is going to be the same performance that you see from your Trim UI brick. This is going to be the same, I believe we saw in, what are a few others that have this chipset band? You know
The
this
Trim
stuff.
UI Smart Pro,
Oh, right, Smart Pro.
the that random H36S,
Okay,
the Powkiddy V20 also had that chip.
okay,
And I think off the top of my head, that's all of them.
okay.
So it's not a common chip, but it's been seen in a few good handhelds.
Okay, perfect. And thanks to live chat for letting me know. Maybe just on my end there, but Allwinner A133 Plus 4-core chip. We got 1 GB of DDR3 RAM. Does have Type C charging. It supports Wi-Fi, they say, but so far, Ban, I know in your testing, you've been trying and trying. You don't have an adapter that will work, and therefore you're having Plum OS on there, which is not being successful for you, right?
Yeah, so if you look at the support external Wi-Fi little note there, they
Yeah.
give you the specific Wi-Fi chips that work. So I went out and ordered one of those to see if when it shows up, will that actually be usable? So the one I found was, I believe, the TP-Link Archer T3U Nano.
Oh, nice. Oh,
So
those
it's
are
like
pretty cheap. Those are
they're
good.
$17.
Oh, that's not cheap. That's not worth it. That's half the cost of the device almost. Well,
Well, I probably
well,
grabbed
not.
the nicer of the options that you could find. They are in a lot of generic Wi-Fi adapters as well. It's just this was the one that would get to me the quickest.
Oh, I gotcha. You just want to try it. I'm sure you can find an adapter for $4 or $5 on AliExpress.
Oh
That
yeah.
really should be the price range that you're aiming for there, because if you're going to spend that much on Wi-Fi, I would say just get a different clamshell that has Wi-Fi built in. And also, if you want Bluetooth, you really need Bluetooth on this as well. Probably just get a different handheld. But that's good to know, and I'm glad that at least you can get Wi-Fi. How often you're going to really use that beyond just box art scraping here and there? Yeah, maybe not. If you really want, retro achievements. But Powkiddy has always had this clamshell that comes in at this budget price range that it's one you just turn on, flip it open, play some games, flip it closed, boom, you're done. Great for kids. This is good one for friends and relatives, but the screen on the original just was not it. It was like this TFT kind of low quality screen. I never really liked it for that, but I just liked the hinge on it was fantastic. The buttons were very serviceable. It was just all around very, very quiet. And now I have some thoughts I wanted to share about this one in a minute here. But other specs in this, it does have, it looks like 2 microSD card slots, up to 256 gigs. Usually it comes with one as an option, or it should. Also, this is one I bought, but I also have one on the way for review from Powkiddy. Yours is from Powkiddy.
Yep.
And I believe we also have one coming for another team member for Go Game Geek. And so we're going to show the different configs that these companies will ship you with. So we'll see if there's any difference between yours and mine. Mine shipped with Batocera. I assume yours did too, right?
Yep, mine shipped with it. It's a very similar build to the one that shipped on the V20.
Okay.
But I think it's slightly more updated.
Okay. That makes sense. And yours came with games too, right? Built in?
Yep. Mine came with a 64 gig SD card, and so everything is just all set up and ready to go. I don't know about yours. Mine was one of the CPIY models.
Mine as well, yeah. So I wonder if this is the Powkiddy review unit. They don't. It's not easy to tell. In which case, I'm more like, okay, but where's my retail? So it's either or. I don't know. It's not the Go Game Geek though. But anyways, 64 gig CPI as well on there. And yeah, man, this is hot. The first impressions I had when I first unboxed it, which by the way, it does have a box. It's very no frills. There's no screen protector on it or anything. It comes with a charge cable and a manual, and that is it. Very, very simple there. You really don't need a screen protector on clamshells for the most part because they serve as their own case and their own really screen protector just by the nature of it being a clamshell. Nintendo really innovated this with their original GBA SP, which all of these handhelds are a clone of. And, we had the Anbernic, the 35XX, and then the 34XX SP. Miyoo came in with their Flip. We even have like the widescreen ones, like your GPDXDs, your Retroid Pocket Flip, and here's the Flip 2. There's so many clamshells. We even recently had an RG Slide, which this one has been really, really hyped up on the scene, and people have been excited for that. And I'm still continuing a test, so we're going to share more thoughts in the podcast tomorrow. This one is huge, but it does serve a similar kind of idea by hiding the controls. So,
yeah, that thing is so thick.
It's thick.
I'm excited.
Did yours show up yet?
Nope, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Should be any time now.
So don't spoil it too bad.
Won't spoil. Will not spoil.
One thing that I do think is kind of worth mentioning, since you were talking about all the hinges.
Yeah.
If you notice, almost all of the more recent clamshells are using that same style GBA SP hinge, except for one.
Which one?
The Miyoo Flip. Because if you notice, they kind of centered their hinge, whereas everyone else has that GBA SP off-centered.
Oh, the off-centered idea. You're right.
So even the V90 original has this style hinge to it.
You're right.
And so I think most of the hinges that use this similar style probably are going to have better durability long-term, in my opinion.
Man, you're so detail-oriented about this stuff. I just appreciate having you on the team here, man. That's I did not even notice that. Yeah, the Miyoo is different. Maybe that's where they went wrong. Maybe not having that split design is what led to all of the degradation that happens to these hinges and the breakage.
Yeah, and I think that might be it. Though a lot of other widescreen handhelds, they have that solid middle. But notice that they made theirs super long.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, the one long handheld that we had issues with hinge-wise, super short in the middle.
Yeah.
Which I think mine's cracking now too.
we're showing off all our clams today. I got to get my XD. Well, one second. Do you mind finishing off the specs? I don't think we covered battery yet.
Oh, yeah, I can get
The
to
right
that.
side of that screen. Okay.
So what you're looking at in terms of battery is a 3000 milliamp hour. So I would say it's a little bit on the smaller side compared to its competition. The Anbernic 34XX SP is 3200. I believe the 35XX SP is either 3200 or 3500. So it lands a little bit on the smaller side in terms of batteries, but at least similar to the V90 original, this one does have an open panel on the back that you can kind of, if I can get to it quick enough, you can unscrew the back end and you can just get to the battery almost immediately.
I walk away for 1 second. I come back. You're doing a teardown.
No. I'm just letting everybody know that just like the original V90, this one does have the back panel so that you can remove the battery easier. So while it's a little bit smaller than the competition, at least it's easily accessible.
No, I love it, man. It's this one at least is hidden behind one screw, but that's not too bad, and you can take that off. Here's my concern, though. One second. Here's my concern.
He's concerned, guys. I feel like I should be worried at this point. Oh, he's back. What's he bringing?
Listen, the one thing about the original V90, right? It had this BL5C Nokia battery. Problem is that I've now had 2 or 3 of these now. This is a spicy pillow I'm holding. This is not good. If you were to puncture this, it would explode and catch on fire. But I have gotten Powkiddy V90s with this exploding spicy pillow. I gotta take that to a recycling center like ASAP. I just keep it in a box of sand in the meantime. That's really the best way to go if you get a spicy pillow until you can dispose of it properly. But the original V90, it had that, and so my concern is, and I've replaced it with a higher quality battery from Amazon, also higher capacity. But are we going to see that same sort of battery issue with the battery they chose in the new one, or are they moving on to a better, LiPo battery? What was the one you had in there?
In what? The V90S?
In the V90S, yeah.
Yeah,
what do they
it was
use
just
now?
It's a pretty standard like lithium ion battery that's just plugged in via 2 not pogo pins, but just like the standard battery connector. So it'll be just like the original, it's easily replaceable. I probably would guess it's just about as quality as like the Miyoo Flip battery or the Anbernic batteries. At least with the like V90, BL5Cs are super easy to find higher quality versions of.
This one, at least, it's only slightly spicy, but it's still like, I would not use this, It's starting to leak into the cells and it's not good. I should stop actually holding it. I'm going to put this back in the sand.
I mean, I would probably put it back in the sand. The nice thing is, though, it's like they're super easy to just pop off the lid, smack it into your hand a couple times, and it's out. Super in and out. Mine is still in good condition. Oh, it's Rob. Everybody wish the Retro Tech Dad a happy Father's Day, too.
Happy Father's Day, Rob. We're all the Retro Tech Dads. We are the Tech Dads that we've retroed along the way. Hello, sir. It's weird not having you on stream, actually. It's a little strange seeing you in the chat. It's me and Ban.
Yeah, this is super weird.
Is Ban new Rob? Ban, are you a father?
No, I'm not a father. At least not that I know of.
That's always the key that you know of. That helps with liability and any concerns there. You have a DS Lite? Is that what you got there?
Yeah, I got a DS Lite in my lime green because
I like that lime green.
They have that long center hinge as well.
They do, yeah. And here's a couple others if you want to take a look. You already covered I guess the battery. Do you cover the screen and the rest of the specs?
Oh, it's 3.5 inch, 640 by 480, IPS 4x3 display, just like what every other 3.5 inch handheld has.
You'd think so, except for I discovered I got to correct myself on the slide. This is called an LTPS LCD, not an IPS LCD. That just means it's a lower power style screen, and it hits higher refresh rates easier, but also degrades faster. Not that that matters because we'll be moved on to new handheld within a year or less. But it's something to consider. And so there are different types of IPS screens apparently, and I was very today I learned on that one. But this one is your standard, 3.5 right, 640 OC laminated.
And the nice thing is that when you opened it up and you had to peel off that like factory screen cover, you didn't have to worry about it getting stuck under the bezel like the original V90.
Yeah, which I do appreciate too.
So, yeah, get back to work, Rob. We know what you're doing.
Yeah, we know what you're doing there. Okay, so that's cool. If we want to hop into some comparisons, and by the way, here is the original Clam King. I love this. The hinge is so nice on this. This is the very first GPDXD. Still a very smooth hinge on there. There were issues on some of the models, but that one's nice and fixed up. And then here's of course, 3DS, which had that 2-tier snapping system. Or sorry, this is a new 3DS XL. And, if you don't have one of these, I love having just an original 3DS in the collection because no matter how good emulation is, it's really hard to replicate the 3DS experience. And so, I know there's options, but I like having the original.
And I mean, for most people, the best way to emulate DS and 3DS is still original hardware for now.
Dude, the 3DS effect on camera looks super strange.
Oh.
There we go. Yeah, it doesn't quite, you can't see it quite right.
Don't do that.
No, I won't do it. I'm sorry. So, turn this off.
I was going to say, do you remember how to turn it off?
I was like, which one is it on this?
We're all used to like...
What game I got in there? Metroid. That's right.
Good choice. Good choice.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do some comparisons.
So
there's
comparisons.
One. You have your
obviously,
PSP Go.
Obviously, a majority of the like main clamshells, but if you're looking at something small like this, PSP Go, though mine's a thick one. So not too far off, honestly.
And comparing to what else you got there, I guess you might as well do your DS Lite. That's one I don't have. Oh, and your new 2DS.
Yep, new 2DS. So it's like fits perfectly right in the middle. I think it still has, it still has that 2-stage flip to it. DS Lite.
Rob's right. The original XD is the GOAT.
I regret getting mine, or getting rid of mine.
Do you not have an original XD?
Not anymore.
Oh yeah.
I think I sold it back to you.
I know it was an XD Plus.
Oh, then I never did have the original.
You got to get the original. The original, I know it's a little bit less performant, but I think it's better. Really? I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Just kind of comparing it to
There's
all
the
your
Flip,
clams.
Retroid Pocket Flip 1.
And of course, I don't know how to handle the clams.
Versus the Flip 2. Now, it's interesting, dude, because oh, that's a satisfying snap.
Oh, did you hear that?
That was really nice. Yeah, I can hear your sound okay on the stream. Maybe we'll have you do the sound testing today.
Well, I mean, I did sound testing for all 6 of these clamshells right here.
I'm Steven. Boy's about to unfold a quesadilla and a paperback book for Hinge comparisons.
I don't have a paperback book for that.
Smoney, Ban did a cool short comparing the snaps. We should compare the snaps. Hey, guess what? We got your short. I think it's
you got
right
my.
here.
I don't think that.
I played the wrong clip. No one has seen that one. Yeah, I don't think you meant for that to be public. Sorry.
No, that was just for you.
Sorry, I pulled in the wrong clip. Oh well, we have it on our YouTube channel. Maybe our producer Sony can pull up that short for us.
Yeah. Yeah, it covered all of the. It covered all of the all of these 6, not just the 2. But the others.
Is your clam okay?
Yeah, my clam's okay. The others. These all have nice, satisfying hinges too.
Yeah, the wide boys definitely do. The Retroid Pocket Flip 2 is nice. The Flip 1 is an interesting hinge.
Well, yeah, it doesn't have anything.
You get the thud, you get the clunk, but you don't get the satisfying kind of cracky snap. And the light's pretty subdued also.
I guess that's...
Well, let's try the 3DS real quick. Let's see. I guess maybe you'll hear this. Maybe?
I just hear clicking.
Clicking? Yeah, just the 3DS is very clicky. And there's your new 2DS.
It's a little subdued as well.
And the original XD, of course, is just silent. Dead silent. Appreciate it.
This one is
Miyoo Flip. Miyoo Flip is the worst, like crinkling, horrific sound. It's as if like the garbage disposal is running, but you can't turn it off. You know, it's an uncontrollable, unhinged kind of hinge click. Yeah, I don't appreciate it, and it's even worse on the V2.
I think this one still has one of my favorite sounds.
Your metal GBA SP? It's satisfying.
I like it. It's like a nice little click to it.
And here's your comparison video real quick. Oh, don't have audio on it though. Might have to reshare and tell it specifically to do audio pass through.
As many clams as you can get.
All the clams, yeah.
Though, I do also like to mention that it's like, size-wise, when it's like closed, it gets pretty close to a lot of verticals out there.
Yeah.
Which, A133P, A133P.
Yeah, and I would say I always prefer the clam over the vertical or the horizontal because, again, the screen is hidden and safe, whereas I get concerned leaving my other handhelds out and about. Not only do they collect dust, but, you know, well, if there's an earthquake, something might drop and fall on it. Of course, there's bigger concerns then, or probably more realistic, your kids drop something on it or get the schmaltz on it, but...
The schmaltz?
Well, I just noticed they're less likely to pick up the handheld if it's a clamshell. Like, they go straight for the Nintendo Switch or any other handheld before they'll pick up the clamshell.
They go for the thing that has a visible screen.
Right, to know, like, okay, it's ready to play. But at the same time, I do think the clamshells are generally a safer handheld for kids to have. If you're going to get them one, you tend to see them last longer, as long as the hinges are stable.
Oh, yeah.
So, there's pros and cons. Look at that. That's a nice... What is that? RGB20SX?
Oh,
modded?
Yeah.
Cool.
RGB20SX just...
Oh, you got that PCB way mod.
Yeah, except it's not quite perfect, but it works.
Rob says that I sent him a handle with some schmutz on it once. That is a complete lie. That is a falsehood. That is a assault on my honor. So I contest it.
Unless it was intentional schmutz, then he meant to put it there.
Michael Benny, may the smoltz be with you. There's that new Spaceballs 2 that's coming out that I'm really excited for. We have to wait a couple years, but that'll be good.
I think it'll be good.
Also, like, if you want to look at the new 34XX SP hinge, like, let's look at that. Very quiet, subdued, a little bit of a thud, quiet opening. The original V90 as well, you just had like one snap. I don't know if you can hear that. Get it next to the microphone. Maybe. But that was just always satisfying. Remember, we just hold this in front of the camera, just back and forth, like, oh yeah, just that click right when it snaps back right there. That is the most perfect click sound. And the thud, like the whole thing is so good. The rest of it, I didn't really use it much, to be honest. But just that action is why I've always kept one. And you get stereo speakers in this. Look at this. Stereo speakers. Yeah, it was a very old chip, and it barely played PS1. But yeah, it's fine. But coming into the modern age, the big competitor, and I'm going to get rid of all these other ones off the screen right now. The biggest, I think, competitor and the rival is going to be Anbernic's R35XX SP, because this is another 3.5-inch display clamshell handheld that doesn't have sticks. So in the non-stick category, you really have this, and you have this, and then you have an actual GBA SP. You know, both of these are a little bit bigger than the SP as well. We always thought that we were going to get an exact 1-to-1 clone, which we got there pretty much with the 34XX with its 3x2 display. But if you want a 4x3 display, you're going to be getting this big boy. It's a little bit bigger. And strangely enough, it actually is the exact same dimensions. Ban measured and found out the exact same dimensions as the Powkiddy, except the height. So the height is 1 millimeter shorter on the Powkiddy versus the Anbernic. Beyond that, they are the exact same dimensions. And so if you were looking for a budget smaller for 4x3, 3.5-inch screen handheld, you're not really going to get it here. It is just so slightly shorter. Not enough to even really mention. Yeah, it'll be a little bit less, 1 millimeter less in your pocket. But I mean, as far as pocketability goes anyways, both of them are going to be just fine. Like, let's take a look here.
Oh, he's doing the pocket test.
Powkiddy.
And in it goes.
Anbernic.
Just disappears.
See that bulge? So you get this bulging out there. I'm not sure about that. Compared to the... Now this one right there, see, just slightly less bulge, you know? Appreciate that. It's so slight, but I actually do notice it though. I actually do notice, which is strange. So
I appreciate your mic just cuts out everything after the pow.
When I say the kitty.
You get pow and then nothing.
Not a thing, dude. Not a thing. All right. What are we doing next in this show? Oh, it's my pocket. That's right. Dad says that I need more bulge, but he always says that, so I'm not going to listen to him.
Put both of them in your pocket at once.
I'm not going to double bulge. You do not double clam when you're walking around town, dude. If you were to have one clam in your left pocket, one clam in your right pocket, where are you going to put your car keys? Where are you going to put your phone? Unless you got a SIM card and turned your Powkiddy into your phone and your key. We'll cook on this. More to come on that later.
Retro handhelds, handheld V4.
In the meantime, we're 34 minutes in and we haven't even turned the damn thing on.
Everyone loves that.
We're playing Wario Land 4. That's right. The thumbnail's coming to life again. There's even the game. Take that, Nintendo. I own that game. It's my right. Now, I like that they have like bezels, especially in Game Boy Advance. All the systems on this Batacera build seem to have bezels built in. Check out Ban's written first impressions and his video because he covers some of this already, but I really do appreciate that. The only other custom firmware as of today is going to be Plum OS. Plum OS is not quite there yet, right? It's still very early days. What's not working on that so far?
So they recently put out their V0.4 update, which needs V0.3 installed to, update to.
Yeah.
Everything in general works. However, because it's a Batacera install, you kind of need that Wi-Fi connection in order to be able to like wirelessly send your games in. Because if you plug it in via the SD card, you kind of have to send everything in through that share partition.
Okay. Well, so what do you think it's going to take to get us to where you would use Plum OS as your daily driver?
I just need my Wi-Fi adapter.
And that's it, and you're good to go.
Oh, yeah. Because for me at least, the thing that I just really need is an easy way to add the games in, and in terms of like Portmaster, an easy way to get those installed.
Yes, Portmaster coming to Plum OS will be fan-freaking-tastic. I know you're a big Portmaster yourself,
Oh
and
yeah.
you're the master of the ports, and you really enjoy that, and I'm learning it myself. Zoo wants to know, is our D-pad a secret button? Yeah, you can press the D-pad as its own button, but is it its own like separate input? Are you saying that? Because that seems outlandish and possibly false.
Oh, like if you press it on the center.
Yeah. He says there's footage somewhere. I mean, yeah, you can feel that you press in the center that you get.
I mean, it just sends my menu all over the place.
I don't love it that it does that, but I wouldn't say that it is a detractor. We'll talk about the button feel and stuff in a second. I want to talk about the screen first, though. This screen is pretty nice. It's your standard IPS. I noticed when I was playing out in the sunshine today and around town that it's not the brightest, though. Like, it has these graduated steps that are pretty intense. So there's the brightest. And it looks really nice for inside the house. It'll be way more than enough brightness for inside the house. But as you start to dim it down, watch this. There's a pretty gradual decline, and then it'll jump all of a sudden from there to there. Now there's that jump to a very dim setting. I'm sure that's on purpose, but just wanted to call it out. It's a pretty big jump between those two settings, and that's the lowest you're going to get. So when you're playing in bed at night, that is definitely dim enough, but it's just a huge jump between that and that. I almost prefer like some sort of more graduated option for the brightness slider, but that's a pretty minor nitpick. And if you wanted to see, what it looks like outside, I took a clip earlier. Here we go. So that's just with some sunlight coming in through the windshield. And no, Zoo, there's no PWM on here. There's no PWM.
Are you sure?
Here it is in direct sunlight. So there's just a snap. There's just a picture from earlier. In direct sunlight, you cannot really see it enough to play games. So direct sunlight is a no-go. Kind of shaded sunlight like I had in the car. Yeah, that'll be fine. And what's coming on screen here? Something else?
You guys talked about this yet, but it's kind of a cool feature. Now, most D-pads, you go up, you go down, you go left, right. But the V90S here, the D-pad's also a button. Listen to this.
Oh, you're right, Zoo. So here's Zoo's footage from his V90S. Let's play that again.
I don't know if you guys talked about this yet, but it's kind of a cool feature. Now, most D-pads, you go up, you go down, you go left, right. But the V90S here, the D-pad's also a button. Listen to this.
Yeah, it's okay. It's pretty intense, but I mean, as far as actually playing, let's see if Street Fighter is problematic with that being there. I didn't really notice it. I've only been testing it for about 2 days or so. Yeah, it's loud. I gotcha. It didn't jump out at me. I don't love it.
That button like center is a little bit.
It's a little
weird.
strange. So okay, and now moving into buttons, let's just dive into that. I know, Ban, we've seen your thoughts on this, but if you wanted to get mine, I'll do the speed lightning round. Basically, these are going to be mushy rubber membrane. So along with that is D-pad is loud if you were to click it, but just pressing on it, you get a pretty nice pivot. It's a fairly short D-pad, quiet when you pivot it though. The D-pads are also mushy rubber membrane. They're a little bit clickier than the original V90, but they're also bigger and they feel better. So nice play and travel, honestly, on those. I think it's the same face buttons from maybe the V10 or the RGB10X. They seem very samey. You do have a loud clicky menu button in the center here and loud clicky start and select. You have volume up and down on the left side, and then you have your power button, your reset there, nothing on the bottom. Up top, here's the thing that drives me nuts though, man, is that the original V90 had very quiet shoulder buttons, and this one has very loud, clicky, super loud, super clicky. Here, I don't know if you've heard this, you've probably heard that on yours, but mine are super loud. That is crazy. I can't play that next to my wife. She would probably throw me out of bed. And that's going to be a no-go. You do get two USB-C ports, your OTG and your DC, but I don't know, that's something they could have just stuck with their original design, I feel like, and we could have had quiet shoulder buttons, because I think a big benefit of this model is the fact that it's so quiet otherwise. The shoulder buttons totally ruin that for me. And of course, pretty loud start and select in the menu button. You know, it could have been a slam dunk. We could have done all rubber membrane all the way across, quiet. As it stands, you have this like hybrid thing that I don't love. And then you go to Anbernic and you got clicky all the way around. What's funny here actually is that you get very clicky face buttons and D-pad on the SP35XX SP. Loud everything on here, right? And then you go to the shoulders and they're actually more subdued. These are quieter shoulders on this versus the SP, versus the V90S. You can't have your cake and eat it too here. They never quite give us 100% what we want. They go for these like half ideas. I don't know what the engineering design is here. Like, why do we do this? I don't know. Moving on to like their newer SP, the 34XX, we again get nice, fairly quiet shoulder buttons, not as loud as the V90S. You have a much quieter D-pad, which I appreciate. And you have, you know, pretty clicky, but quiet, clicky face buttons. So, and you get joysticks added on. So this, nice improvement for me anyways. This, and the Miyoo, this is wild. The loudest hinge on the planet. Like this will wake up your dead grandparents middle of the night. Like this is so freaking loud. And you have these very, very super quiet D-pad and face buttons on the Miyoo Flip. The quietest of the whole bunch, and I love that, but they're also very short play on in travel there. You get your sticks. And you get very quiet shoulder buttons. Like this is super quiet, other than the crazy loud hinge. Like this, and the new V2 is starting to make these crazy sounds now. Listen to this.
Ugh.
Actually, it's kind of like a sweet beat. I guess you could like rap over it or something. Like kind of like that. Yo, I'm the Powkiddy dad. I got my Powkiddy plans. I got my clamshell in my hand. You know, you could just go nuts on that. And I guess that's a sweet beat. Oh, this is actually a corrupted version too. This is the V1. And it has, unfortunately, corrupted my SD cards. It doesn't work anymore. You can't load any games on here. This is just dead. I don't even know why I brought it out today. It's basically complete garbage. I don't know if there's a fix, but
I think you brought it out just to see how loud that hinge was.
well, yeah, actually, it's this one. Listen to this. So it has this like slow kind of, you know, I guess you can't really hear it, but it's like scraping as you open it, and it's very concerning, and I'm scared, and I'm just not sure. So this is one I feel like is going to break at any time.
Sooner rather than later.
Sooner rather than later. And then the original Powkiddy V90, you know, you had all quiet buttons all the way around. So like, why not continue this design on the new one? You even had rubber membrane start and select, okay? And you had little quiet clicky shoulder buttons. Like this was nice. This was nice. Taking it back to the OG, the original SP, you know, these were always like the Miyoo Flip. They were quiet, clicky, pretty much no travel to them, short. That was fine, but they're quiet shoulders, you know. So then you move over to this. Great, this is good, right? I'm just good. Sorry, the rant's almost over. You get this, and then you get these shoulder buttons, and they're freaking loud and drive me crazy. I'm like, come on, dudes, what's going on here? Why? Ban, over to you.
Oh, over to me? I was going to say that I honestly don't mind the shoulder buttons, but that's also because, unlike you, I live alone, so I don't care how loud they are.
That's right.
The tactility part is what I actually enjoy. So kind of comparing that to like, oh,
sorry, that's just some local deer the zoo found.
Oh dear.
I don't know. So,
you know what? I'm happy to keep seeing more of Zoo's vacation.
Yeah, me too. You know, I'm glad he's living his best life. I start to wonder anytime anyone on the RH team is on vacation for too long, because I always get concerned that maybe my electrician has trapped them too. But
What's his name again?
Well, yeah, Theodore is neither here nor there, but he is everywhere. He kind of is this omnipresent, omniscient electrician who's in my walls, I
Oh,
feel. So, might be in yours too. So just check your walls. Make sure your electrician is not in there.
that's a good point. I'll probably have to take a look at that sometime tonight. um,
Double check, yeah.
yeah, I
X-ray.
actually. Oh
There,
gosh.
there he is.
Um, but yeah, I actually kind of like the controls. The V90 is like the first one in a while that doesn't have that clicky face button setup that every other small clamshell had. My biggest complaint mostly comes down to the really loud menu and function buttons.
Really? Yeah, I don't prefer those either, but it's the shoulders that get me. And if Ace were on here right now, he would be dead. Like he would, if he heard these shoulders, he would just cease to exist as on this planet. That's
Oh yeah.
I know how he feels about loud shoulders. And as humans, our shoulders get louder as we age ourselves because, bones get creaky and snappy and it's a problem. So you got to offset that and balance that however you can. So I get you young folks, you Gen Z folks don't care about loud shoulders, but it's a real concern for us over 40-year-olds.
As long as your joints don't start sounding like a Miyoo Flip Hinge, I think you're gonna be
Yeah.
okay.
If you got the Miyoo Flip, like if your doctor diagnoses you with a Miyoo Flip Hinge, shoulder, bones, that's pretty much kind of pack it up, get that will written, and kind of prepare for the worst there. But if you're on the beach and you're enjoying yourself and you got a good handheld by your side and it feels right, it doesn't matter how loud it is if you're outdoors. You know what I mean? Like it does not matter at all. It's when you're inside in a controlled environment with other people around you, that's when the volume becomes an issue. And for some of us, just modern dads, I want to say, the children's and they're the sleeping children's and you can't wake them. You never want to wake them, then your night's ruined. Your night's over. You got to go tend to that. And so you try to be so careful after 9 or 8 p.m. to not wake anybody. And so I go for the quiet devices. You know what I mean? And
Oh
I get
yeah.
you. I get what you're saying, dude. But that's where I'm at.
Which
How you,
I mean,
yeah, how you feeling emotionally?
emotionally, I'm feeling all right. Balatro works on the V90S.
Oh, that's cool.
So, because it's Batocera, you can do a lot of the Batocera things with it, which includes going to the Portmaster website and installing it directly onto the device without Wi-Fi. However, just like how it is a Batocera setup, it's also a Allwinner A133P setup, which means a lot of the ports are going to be a little bit on them.
Wonky.
Because, like, I can get Apertrus, I can get Axiom Verge, and I can get Balatro to load up,
Sure.
but some of the other ports that you might expect just don't seem to work. Like UFO 50, I saw someone mention this would be great for that because there's no shoulder buttons needed. Right now, at least, does not boot on the V90S.
Okay, so we're early days, and while they did configure Batocera to work generally pretty well, and I like the overlays, the ports have a little work to be done. And you know what else bugs me though about their Batocera build? And I really hope that custom firmware fixes this, or at least they release a patch. I don't know if they ever will, but if you open it, you expect it to wake up, and if you close it, you expect it to go to sleep, right? It doesn't. It does not go to sleep. It just leaves the screen on, and it's up to you to go in, turn it off, or quit the game and then shut it down. I would expect it to go to sleep or turn off, and that's kind of a bummer, man. That now is one more reason why I wouldn't use this, because I don't have time. I don't have time to like sit there and like fiddle with it. Like I want to be able to close my Clam, okay, put it down, put it in my pocket, move on with my day. I want to play it later, cool. Open it up, it wakes up. In the meantime, I have this battery anxiety that the battery is going to continue to drain, which it will. and then I pick it up and it's going to be dead. It's going to be like RG552 dead. And that's a concern to me. I don't love that. So, and I'm sure it's fixable, right? I'm sure there can be a hinge detection that in software that can say, hey, the hinge is closed. Go ahead and put me to sleep. Go ahead and shut me down.
And I mean, just like a lot of Powkiddy handhelds, it kind of comes down to if
RG
the
Slide
community
is a good example. You know,
likes
look at that.
the
Look at this. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, if the community likes the device, exactly.
And
See?
also, just one extra note, I saw Acme Pluses in the chat, and they brought it up as well. The A133 doesn't have ARM 32-bit support, so that is what's going to affect a lot of those port-related things.
Well,
So
that's good to know. And so maybe we are going to be limited on the A133P. Okay, that's a chipset-based thing. I'm glad that Powkiddy went with a newer chipset though. Like this definitely, I'm going to use one of my swears now. It definitely fucks. Like the new it fucks. Shit, that's 2. Oh, that's 3.
how many are you going to go through in one sentence?
Man. It gives you that performance bump that's going to be above the H700 a little bit, right? Like it definitely A133P goes above enough to make you want to play a little more DS, to make you want to play a little more PSP, Dreamcast, and 64, right? Or am I right in that, Ban?
I would say you're right in that.
It's marginal. I know it's not a huge difference, but it's modern, and the old one was so lackluster, you could barely play PS1. When it came out, it was pretty good, but 5 years later, not so much. So now we're looking at, if you're wanting to play up to PSP, Dreamcast, DS, it's a great option. Now, the H700 is no slouch. Like the H700 here in this Anbernic 35XX SP will get you there, and all of their devices in their budget line have this chipset these days. And it plays the same systems. It has way further refinement in the OS though, and there's been some very efficient operating systems released for this, not including, the stock's even okay. But one thing that Anbernic has going for it, and I think all the custom firmwares do, is that when you close the damn thing, it's asleep. Right? Oh yeah, it detects it. It's asleep. I can put that in my pocket. I can play that later. Sure, it's Linux sleep versus, a nice Android sleep, but it's asleep.
And I think for a lot of people, they just kind of prefer having that option there. And right now, it's just not, you just don't get it with the V90S.
You don't. It freaks me out. It scares me, It's not one that I think that I can recommend yet. I think this is one I'm already landing on the fact that, okay, this is going to be really, really good. Really good, I think. When we get more software support, when we get Portmaster working, when we get, an easier time to get Wi-Fi working. Sure, you buy your supported adapter, but maybe they can release one iteration, V90S Plus, with Wi-Fi this time. Yeah, that might be it. This one as it stands, that's where I'm at. Having said that, you know what? Let's play some games.
Wait, we're playing games here?
Yeah.
Well, that's news to me.
Yeah, we did an hour of analysis. Now let's just have fun.
The real question is, what do you pick up? Well, I mean, obviously you're picking up WarioWare, but...
Yeah, so I'm playing some Wario. And as far as this mono speaker goes on here, it's not bad. Okay, it's here. I don't know if you can take a listen here. But that's kind of what the speaker sounds like. And it's a serviceable... It's like many of the mono speakers you see in these handhelds. It's hard to give an exact judgment on it, nuanced judgment versus the other. They're very samey. But it's like, I can clearly hear the sound. I can clearly hear the music. The 8-bit and 16-bit music tracks sound good to me. I wouldn't say it's like a poopy speaker. It's not like a shitty speaker. That's 4. All right. Give me a half-hour timeout. But
it's just time to mute him for half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the speaker itself is fine overall. It's nothing special, and at least it's front-facing.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of had that issue where some Powkiddies either put them on the bottom, put them in really awkward spots or just didn't have a decent speaker at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think
It's
it's
fine.
one worth appreciating,
It's
believe
fine.
it or not.
Yeah. So your 4x3 content's going to look good on here. Even your 3x2, because you get the bezel on there, we know it's a fake bezel. Or we know it's a fake overlay. Yes. But it's very convincing. Honestly.
Yeah, it's
For an
actually,
IPS screen, it's very convincing.
all things considered, since it's already set up with the bezels, it works like really well for most games.
Yeah, and people in chat are asking, okay, well, you guys are talking about all these concerns and comparisons, but really at the end of the day, which one is your favorite of these to use? And so far for me, man, I've been spending the most time, and here's all the ones I consider the later gen clamshells that I would pick between. Go ahead and pass over your original V90 at this point. You can never pass over your GBASP. That is a GBASP. That is its own experience. Yes, it's a classic. Some of the other options, just forget. I'm going to say the Miyoo Flip V1 is my preference, actually.
Really?
Well, just for the hinge is worse on the V2. Plus, you get the anxiety of it breaking. At least the V1, it was annoying sounding, but and the joysticks were a little bit. What was it? I think they're a little bit looser, so they're not great. But you didn't have the hinge anxiety. But I would say in general, I've been passing more on the Flip. I really enjoyed it when it debuted. This is when I was carrying around because this is like the smallest clamshell that gave me sticks. So cool. And before that, it was my 35XX SP. I traveled around the world with this. I went to Taiwan with this. This has been my companion, and it always works, and it's still great. You know what? It's a little clicky and loud and stuff, but whatever. Like it's really nice. You get a nice big screen real estate. You get an array of custom firmware options that are fantastic. Way more customizable experience here. So it's hard to ever discount the 35XX SP. Then they came along, gave us another H700 with now 2 gigabytes of RAM. So this is the most RAM, I believe, of all 4 of these. I believe this is the most. I think, right? I think
should
the rest
be.
of these are 1 gig. So for Portmaster, you're going to be looking at the best on this, but it's a smaller screen, 3x2, so it's true to the GBASP. But it has some really cool things. Like the joysticks I love on this. I think they're really nice. I like the feeling, the texture, the action, the feel of them, how they perform. The D-pad's really nice. I like the face buttons. This one has been probably my go-to lately. I think of these 4, I like the RG34XX SP from Anbernic the best of these 4. However, this has a little ways to go as far as getting the wide array of custom firmware support. And my big caveat on this, they all have mono speakers. The speakers is kind of a wash to me on this line. But the big caveat is the heat. This one got a little bit toasty, but never enough to bother me. The SP, man, the 34XX SP, it gets warm enough to where it does bother me, to where it's like, it's getting, after about 20 minutes, I'm like, it's getting like all hands are getting clammy and sweaty, and I know it's a clamshell, but I don't want clammy hands. I don't want to clam it up. In the winter, it's nice to have a warm handheld, but I really don't. I don't play this for long sessions either. So maybe I need to spend more time with it. And now the A133P in here does get a little warm too. I can feel right now it's a little bit warm, but not toasty warm like the 34XX. So I need more time with this. This might, for me, win out in the end. I just don't know yet. Do I accept the concession that it doesn't go to sleep when I close the lid? Do I accept the fact that the battery drains? Do I accept the fact that it's not going to have Wi-Fi, so my retro achievements aren't going to be there? My box on-device box scraping won't be there unless I get an adapter. Do I accept the fact that the shoulder buttons are loud as all get out? Or that the hinge is great though. Like the hinge is fantastic. I think this is the hinge. Powkiddy has nailed the hinge. They already had nailed the hinge, and now they've made it quieter, and it's great. The hinge is great. But yeah, I don't want to give a final judgment on this today. We'll see in 6 months. But so far, I think for me, it's between these two though. The 34XX SP and the V90S. Dan, what are your thoughts, and like what's your favorite
what are my thoughts, kind of?
Like, yeah, of your so far, you've had this longer than me, like a week longer or something.
Just about, yeah. I mean, off of the bat, I mean, obviously, it is time to move on from the V90.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, at least, the Miyoo Flip never actually clicked with me, even though the hinge wouldn't stop clicking. The one that I ended up using the most, even up until the V90, was actually the 35XX SP.
Yeah.
Because, the this is showing my younger age, but the Game Boy Advance SP was my first handheld. So I kind of had that more nostalgic feeling towards this device specifically.
Yes.
So even after having the Miyoo Flip and the 34XX SP come out with the addition of sticks, I still ended up coming back to this one. And, it's got the solid hinge. It's got the clicky face buttons. But with the V90S, it brings a lot of the same features in terms of control, feel. But since it's so early on, we don't quite know where it's going to end up. Because at least with Anbernic, the community was able to put out firmware over time for these devices. And, I mean, really, it became a better handheld because of that. So my pick is kind of between the 35XX SP and the V90 at the moment, or V90S.
Okay, yeah.
I just kind of want to see where it goes from there.
That's fair. Because you think, do you need sticks on something like this, really?
I don't, honestly. The 34XX SP and the Miyoo Flip, I just rarely ever used the sticks on them, even when I was using them.
Right, yeah. And for the most part, I agree with you. But you know what's funny? I guess now, unfortunately, I've gotten used to having the sticks there. Sometimes I do switch and use the stick. Even when it's a D-pad centric game, just sometimes the stick will be a little more comfortable to use or whatever. So I've gotten a little used to having him on these smaller clamshells. I've gotten spoiled. So there were a few times when I've been testing the new V90S where, yes, I reach down and I expect there to be sticks there on the bottom row. I'm like, oh, right. There's no joysticks on this. You know what? That's all right. It also saves on cost. So, okay. And that's fair, too. I think that the 35XX SP sounds like it's still your top.
Yeah. And I mean, for some people, sticks are going to be, they're going to be that deal breaker if you don't have them.
Right.
So some people are just going to put off these two in total forever. But for me, for the most part, with these small clamshells, it's not like I'm trying to do a lot with them.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's fair. So I think we're still coming down to recency bias aside. I do think we're down to probably the 35XX and the 34XX SP as being probably the top dogs right now. It sucks because the Miyoo Flip, I loved where they were going with it, but they really crapped the bed as far as their hinge goes. I don't get it. I don't understand why we had to go there. And then we had the card corruption issues on the V1. So here I am, I'm saying, like, I'm praising the V1, but why? My V1 is dead. I can't use it anymore. I like it, but I mean, it doesn't work anymore. I can't play games on it. And isn't that obviously the point of the device? Why do I even have this still? It's just a funny coffee table topic or something.
You just use it for a prop, honestly.
It's just a prop or a comparison for videos or live streams at this point. But it has corrupted other people's SD card slots as well. Not just the SD cards. I'm talking about it has corrupted SD card slots. Any SD card I put in there doesn't work. And that's really frustrating. So, okay. All right. Listen, I want to hear the hinge, the unfiltered hinge test. You have a short we were going to share earlier. Let's go ahead and share that now.
Best?
taking a look. Hinge is fine. Oh, here. Kind of sounds like the Anbernic ones. 35XX SP. 34XX SP. Miyoo Flip. It has a lot more pronounced of a click into its positions. V90S, or just the normal V90. A lot clickier. And GBSP. Now, it's important to note that because of the metal shell, it's got a little bit of a looser hinge to it, just due to the weight flopping it about. One thing that I do notice off the bat is that in the design, they
Okay, so I'm glad we got to see a little bit of that there. All right, that's fair, dude. I'm so torn on this one. I was so excited when I got it. I know that I was posting around like, this is the one, this is so good. A little more time with it. I'm a little conflicted. And that's why it's hard to draw conclusions very fast on some of these things. You start to find things as you're testing. You're like, maybe this is a deal breaker. For you, like, I know you can play your Apotris, and I can tell that you like it, but you're not thinking it's the one at this point.
No, it's really just between, this and the 35XX SP, because they kind of fill the same niche. It's just a matter of what set of controls do you want.
And people want to hear, Steven wants to hear the uncut, unfiltered commentary on your diagonal cutouts. Did you have another thought you were going to share there?
My diagonal cutouts. Is that from the... Oh, was it from the video with me playing Celeste? I just noticed that from time to time, the diagonals might give way, and I might end up hitting something I didn't mean to. But I feel like that was mostly just, getting used to the controls.
Right. Well, maybe it's worth looking at just a quick Street Fighter test. I'll pull that up here. Also, earlier about the Miyoo Flip, Michael says you can steady a table with it. Remember when I had Stable Table? I do have Stable Table here. It's a product from Amazon. I still have Stable Table. I did an ad for them. Stable your table. But now I have Miyoo Flip is the new Stable Table Pro. So that's good. Also, Skippy B. Coyote, if you don't mind repeating something you covered earlier, Stubbs, how soft and squishy are the D-pad and buttons on the V90S compared to the original? Yeah, so it's a mixed bag. The original, and it's good to know, okay, you like them soft and squishy? Well, probably TMI on that. But on the original V90, it was all squishy. Like, it was all... I don't like that word, squishy. It was all mushy, and it was quiet. And on this new one here, yeah, you get mushy D-pad and face buttons, but you get loud clicky shoulder buttons. You get loud start and select and menu button. Only parts that are mushy are going to be the D-pad and the face buttons. So I do think as far as button sound goes and the feel, I think the feel of the face buttons and D-pad are definitely better on this go around. But everything else, yeah, probably better on the original. That's where I'm at with it. Let's do some Street Fighter. Thank you for coming. Let's do, yeah. Also, I want to say thank you for your super chat, Pride Tunes. What about a ducky yellow and orange color? I might be okay with that.
I could get behind that.
Also, Yum Game. Thank you for your super chat. Happy Father's Day to the RH community. Yeah, happy Father's Day, everybody. Thank you for that. And also, new member. Oh, Michael, thanks for coming and becoming a member. That's really cool. Every month you're a member with us, you'll get your new month badge. And TechTweeb actually designed all of our badges. So, you get to level up, and then it shows on our live streams, so-and-so has been a member for this many months. And we would like to highlight that to show that loyalty, to show like, oh, you've been with us for this long. I know some people have like 17 or 18 months now. It's just awesome. That perk, by the way, is $3. If you do like this live stream and what we're providing here, do consider, subscribing, becoming a member, liking, sharing with your friends, sharing with your loved ones, anyone who's into this sort of stuff. We really just try our best around here, and we really appreciate all of your support. Okay, so having said that, let's go ahead and look. Oh yeah, and there's producer Sony, brought it up on screen there. There's my face creeping in. We had Ban on the thumbnail originally, but he insisted that we take him off. He thought I don't know why.
It was just getting too busy.
It was just too many things, too many elements.
I mean, you had your face, you had the live, you had the Powkiddy logo.
Yeah.
At what point do you just not see the handheld at all?
I kind of still want people. I kind of wish people could still see that thumbnail though, just to experience it. I kind of wish we could load it up into the stream real quick and just to show them what they could have had. Yeah, there you are. There's Bam Margera.
That's actually a video of me.
A Ban Margera. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Let's do some Street Fighter. Oh, are we quitting Street? Thanks. I pressed the wrong button. That's on me.
Oh my gosh.
That's on me. How's battery life been for you, by the way? Mine's been depleting a little bit faster because I keep closing the lid thinking that it's asleep and I forget.
And yeah, I've had that issue a little bit too, of just kind of forgetting, right now it doesn't have that sleep function. So mine's been going down a little bit faster than I'd like.
Oh, kitty. Wrong channel. Actually, Digitizer? Yes, there's the original. There's the original thumbnail you could have had. See? Wouldn't that have been better, everybody?
I think
Very
everyone here might agree with you.
Yeah. Come on. Digitizer says, kitty, and says you're on the wrong channel. Actually, I'm gonna correct you there. You are on the right channel. That's something we started on this channel, and it kind of spread to other channels, I believe, right? And now other people say kitty, like Victor Amini and Wicked Gamer, and but we have these community sayings that kind of spread around. I love it. I love the community memeing. I love that, but I will take ownership for the kitty. Or maybe I'm wrong. Ban, is that right?
I thought that was a Wicked Gamer thing.
Was it? Did Wicked actually start that? And I just kind of like took it to that sound level. Is that what we kind of iterated on it?
I'm pretty sure he came on the podcast and you said, "Can we hear it some more?"
Oh, and okay. Wicked. Let's give it to Wicked. I almost stole someone else's idea then.
Plagiarizing almost. It's almost like
Did I really quit the damn game again? Come on, dude. Come on, Stubbs. I'm off my game. I have a cold. I'm off my game today. Also, I did have a old-fashioned before getting on the stream because it's Father's Day and my wife took me out to a nice fancy French restaurant and I got an old-fashioned and it was very tasty. So I'm a little stupid.
I mean, I bet it sounds good, honestly.
I'm a little stupid. I'm a little ranty.
Aren't you always?
Am I? I'm a controlled ranty. It's very intended. This is a little bit more of like, well, I'm just old man yelling at clouds ranty today.
That's fair enough.
It's very good. It had a cherry in it. It's very tasty. Okay. Let's test for some. Well, for one thing, the buttons are reversed. This should be here. It should be the Y button. Yeah, I mean, you are getting a little bit of false presses there. I guess you could say false diagonals, but I'm getting some missed inputs, that's for sure. Not bad, but I don't know if I could play competitively on this game. Yeah. I can't like for sure, if I really intentionally do it. It's tough.
And it's probably just the Powkiddy D-pad.
Oh, the rumble feels good. That's the first time I felt the rumble in this.
Yeah,
that feels good.
Believe it or not, the first time I felt the rumble was just in the middle of a game. And it just came out of nowhere. And, for the most part, you don't usually think about that kind of thing until it actually makes a difference.
All right. Well, as we get to wrapping up here, I'm going to switch over to your feed, and I'll kind of provide my final thoughts while we watch you play a little bit of gameplay. I know we didn't do, we were promising people a lot of gameplay in today's stream. It kind of turned into more of just an analysis of hinges and clams and stuff. So that just is how it is sometimes. Maybe that's more what people need anyways.
I mean,
Well,
for the most part, I mean, people know what the
this
A133P is.
Right, yeah. You get a good idea. You don't need to see us sit and play games forever.
Oh.
What's that game?
Something that the D-pad doesn't work on, but it was
Oh no.
it was one of the N64 games that they had preloaded in.
That's the problem with some of the N64 games. They have actually loaded in a number of them that don't work right off the bat. Another one is Wave Race.
Yeah, this is, I want to say, it's just like a buggy, a Beetle racing game, but all you can really do is just hold the gas and watch the game play itself. Which, I mean, to be fair, it runs it really well.
It
Until
does, yeah.
Till you can't move.
Till you can't move, and that's the problem. It's just not functional. Before, one last thing I wanted to share that came to my mind. Oh, and by the way, in chat, yeah, so the buttons do not touch the screen, I don't believe, because the screen, as you can see, it actually is recessed a bit.
And so are the buttons.
And so are the buttons. So as we start to close it there, let's just see. Let's get the right angle there. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, we're good there. We're good there. I actually have never heard of this PGM, Poly Game Master, IGS. And turns out this company, and they're kind of competition to the SNK stuff, but they're releasing their own handheld, which is just like a rebranded retro handheld that they're adding just their games to. Rob and I ordered it off Amazon, and we'll actually add it into the description because it's like $40 or so, and we'll unbox it on the podcast and take a look. But yeah, but reason I bought it because these games are awesome. I was playing some of these, man. I love the art style. I actually like it a little bit more than some of the SNK games. In a way, I love the color palettes. I love the game design, and I've never heard of this system in my life. It's an arcade system, and I love anytime I can open up a handheld and I'm playing games or systems that I've never heard of because they happen to include them. So I've spent a long time in the short time I've had this just playing PGM games here and learning about this system. So freaking cool.
That is one that I actually had never heard of until we got these as well.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Knights of Valor.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I like it. It just feels good on this handheld too. Like this is a system that performs full speed. I like the colors. I like the button. The buttons feel good for this style of gameplay. I'm very satisfied if this handheld only had this system loaded on. I would be okay just with that. And so I did go ahead and buy the PGM retro handheld dedicated.
I think I'm gonna have to take a look at that too. Honestly.
Yeah, it's a lot of there's just every game on here. Almost every game was a banger. So
almost. What was the bad one?
I don't remember. It's hard because they're not named. They're just their initials. But
okay,
I've gone through a number of these now. So what is that, like 15 or something? There's not many. But yeah, this is cool. So with that, now I'm going to switch back to you, Ban. I promise we're going to get out of here. We are not going to let a V90S stream go over an hour and a half.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of clamshell happiness going on here.
That's true. You got to embrace the clam, and you got to just enjoy it, but that's what it is. All right, everybody. Well, if you're interested in the V90S, it is available in our description or on screen now. It is rh-go.link/V90S. Get it for $45. You can add in that, what is it, Powkiddy Love?
Oh, it's actually V90S Good.
V90S Good. I'll add that to the description. V90S Good. Use code V90S Good, I'll add that in chat. Or if you want an AliExpress, many people in the world, I'm sure, are going to get it from there. It's going to be rh.co.link/V90S_AE. These are affiliate links. They are at no extra cost to you. They do benefit us. We get like a 3% commission. It helps the channel. So.
I do want to point out that the AliExpress summer sale is starting tomorrow as well. So you might be able to get an even better deal on it with the coupons coming out.
With the coupons, yeah.
The coupons.
And yeah, no, thank you, Lily XC Lily. I don't know how to pronounce your name, sorry. But thanks, team. Solid review as always, and thanks for the response, Tech Dad. Yeah. When we count this, this was pretty in-depth. I guess we can count this more or less as a review more than a first look at this point, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we went pretty deep. I always say, like, we're just going to do first impressions this stream. We're not going to go crazy. But here we are. People want to know, I know this is one more thing. Then we'll get out of here. I really want to know the weight difference. This is something that I've been OCD about, comparing the weight on a lot of these handhelds, because it's something to consider. So with the V90S, you're looking at 189 grams. With your Miyoo Flip,
Oh,
I got to replace the battery. Let's see if we can...
already?
Yeah. With the Miyoo Flip, you're looking at 167. With the 34XX SP, 175. With the 35XX SP, 197. So you're looking at this being the second heaviest at 189. And, you know, compared to an original plastic GBA SP, come on, scale. Does this use double A's? What's in here? Oh, triple A's? That's no problem. Yeah, triple A's. That's no problem. We'll take care of that soon. There's nothing on the thing. That's not 206 grams. Reset yourself. Come on. Oh, God. I dropped my V90S.
Oh, my gosh.
137.
Here.
So it's the second heaviest, but this is still heavier, and this just feels slightly too heavy, just slightly too big. It's just slightly not a, you know, I don't know. It's just the slightest amount too much. This is 1 millimeter shorter. It's a little bit lighter weight, but it is enough to make a difference, and I can feel it in my pocket as a difference. I can feel it in my hands as a weight difference. And that is enough to move the needle to say that I really do like this, the form factor of this. You know, final thoughts on this. The scale is made by Powkiddy. Thank you. Yeah, final thoughts on this are going to be, for now, I'll do like a follow-up in some months or something. For now, this is not a recommend. Only for the fact that you're not going to be... The major fact is that when you close it, it doesn't go to sleep, so you're going to have to manually hold the power button or, you know, shut it down safely in the menu. Also, no Wi-Fi. For a few bucks more, you can get Wi-Fi. You get your 35XX SP. You don't have the joysticks if you wanted the joysticks. And it also gets fairly warm, not as warm as the 34X XP. Buttons, face buttons, D-pad, it's all fine. This one does give you some missed inputs, so not perfect either. For the kind of games you're going to be playing in this, though, I don't know that it's a huge deal. That's actually not my biggest gripe. My biggest gripe, as you probably know, is going to be these super loud shoulder buttons. Yeah, they're functional. And we didn't even touch ergonomics, man, or the plastic. The plastic is a nice matte plastic. It doesn't get fingerprinty. And the ergonomics on this, because it's so lightweight and with the shoulder buttons, at least like the ergonomics are really nice. So it feels good in the hands, and I can reach these easy. They're no problem. A much, much different experience than something like the RG Slide here, which is awesome in a lot of ways, but because it's so much bigger, not so ergonomic to reach. And if you really want to go to town, you want to spend some money to get the best of the best clamshell, oh man, it's going to be the Retroid Pocket Flip 2. I mean, come on. OLED screen on this. You know, over $200. Stacked shoulders.
I mean, for the price of the Flip, you could get like 4 V90s.
You could get every color of the V90S instead, sure. But this will play everything you want. It'll play PS2, it'll even play Switch, even play some PS3. Ergonomics are not perfect on here, though. Realize clamshell is always going to give you a little bit of a compromised experience for ergonomics. The best I've ever experienced, though, is probably going to be like the 3DS XL or the original GPDXD. This is the GOAT. I mean, this is the one to beat, and I still don't know that we've beaten it completely, just in performance. Yeah, GBA SP, that's going to be your tried and true. 35XX SP, this is an awesome companion. So much more software available for it. So well tested, supported. The community has come together to make just some awesome things for it. You can get custom, designs and stickers, buttons, all that stuff. I have a modding project video I need to make for this. You can swap out the battery as well. Yes, you can swap out the battery here as well. Hopefully not a spicy pillow. I'm concerned, but hopefully not. It's a different style. That's good. 4x3 screen, 3x2 on screen on the 34XX SP. The 34XX SP is going to be, in my mind, a better option than this. 35XX SP, in my mind, a better option than this. The Miyoo Flip, I just can't recommend this at all because it's just everything sucks on it. And well, some things are good, but a lot of things just there's some breaking and some hinge concerns. But otherwise, I would have loved it. I'm gonna get this out of here. This doesn't even stand a chance right now. But the 34XX SP, I love this because you do get the joysticks. So I think this is a very admirable choice. If you don't want joysticks, you want a bigger screen, 35XX SP all day. You do want joysticks, you don't mind a smaller screen, don't mind a little bit of warmth. I think that 34XX SP is the way to go. Awesome. I'm going to leave off with the V90S will probably be awesome in like 6 months, but we can't review things on the hope of tomorrow that they're going to be better. As of right now, I don't think it's a recommend unless you want to spend the least amount of money on a clamshell. Then this does rival these in price and price to performance. I mean, you do get more performance technically on this versus these two. Not as much RAM. That's going to give it to the 34XX SP. But we're early days, and we need to have this go to sleep when you close the damn lid. Otherwise, what is the point of having it be a clamshell at all? Beyond just having it be portable, put it in your pocket and that good stuff. So that's where I'm at with it, man. Do you have any final words or things that you want to share since your impressions went out?
I mean, I kind of stand in the same boat as you in that the V90S is a good device, but it's not quite there.
Yeah.
It doesn't have Wi-Fi, it doesn't have Bluetooth. Right now, at least, it doesn't have the firmware that you could be looking for. As a device, I actually do like it.
Yeah.
But it follows that same Powkiddy mantra of just it's missing just a few things to get like $5 cheaper that you could just get by spending a little bit more.
And people are saying because of sales, the 35XX SP technically right now on Anbernic's website is cheaper.
Well, I mean, at that point, if the 35XX SP is cheaper, I would just
go for it.
Recommend that wholeheartedly.
You get Wi-Fi. That's the other thing. Yeah, you get the Wi-Fi. You get the connectivity. I think most people are going to... I feel like most people are going to come away with this saying, you know what, the 35XX SP is still the king of budget, is still the best option. Yeah, it's the biggest. Yeah, does that really matter? It's so slight of a difference. There's cool color options, It's the loudest, it's the clickiest, but whatever. It's reliable. People have concerns over the hinge breaking on the 3.5. I've never seen that happen on the 35XX SP. I've seen it happen on the Miyoo Flip, but
so
I see on Reddit that people are talking about, some issues with the hinge. I actually have not seen that myself, and I've had probably 10 of these in the last year come and go, and I've yet to run into any issues of quality control, at least. I don't know. That's me.
The only issue I've ever had with the 35XX SP was that this left little nubbin popped out on me when flipping it open.
Oh, really?
And that was back during our Christmas live stream when we were talking about H700s. It hasn't happened since. So pop it in, you're done.
And then you're good to go. You know what? Last question we have actually from chat here was about the screen quality. How would you compare the screens between the 34XX SP, the 3.5, and the V90 S as far as just overall quality.
I think the 34XX SP just has a slightly better screen overall.
I'd agree. The colors pop a bit more. But can we show that? Do you have anything loaded up on that? My battery just died. I was going to show that before. I'm like,
I can get mine to turn back on.
If it comes back on, that'd be great. But
it's still got power, but
we're running past an hour 30, I know, but I think it's worth answering. Yeah, no problem. Liza Lily, I don't know. Yeah. Don't ask me to pronounce names. I just remember opening the 34XX SP and the colors. I was like, wow, dude, impressive. Yeah, the colors on the 34XX SP, we had another stream with that, I believe, recently. And we showed that those colors do freaking pop. They look awesome.
Oh, no.
There you go. We can probably just show our handheld side by side, actually, is the best way. So let's pull up the same game real quick.
Oh, I don't have the same game.
Well, yeah, I know we don't have that game, but do you have... What's something we can pull up? Celeste? You have Celeste, don't you? I love that this comes with... This does come with ports built in, by the way. Like, you can play Cave Story and Diablo.
There we go.
I think this has Pico 8.
I mean, I loaded mine up through Portmaster.
Oh, you did?
Since it has Portmaster, it's just a little bit better.
I thought I had Celeste. I was playing Celeste on here. Hold on. I'm crazy, dude.
He's losing his mind. Everybody.
Losing my mind.
It is in Pico 8.
Here, it is. It is in Pico 8. Okay, let's pull up Celeste. Get right up to the camera if it'll let you. I like that we get the bezel. Let me match your brightness. That's such a crisp. It's crisp. I think the brightness might be the same. Damn it, I quit again. Wow. Give me 1 second. Oh, there you go. There's the 3.5. So you do those two. I'll do this one. Okay. The brightness is the same. Yeah, so it's going to be... Can you pull it a little closer? A little closer. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's as close as I can get for matching the brightness, unfortunately. It is a little bit more washed out on the Powkiddy compared to... Can I get your 3.5 on screen? Yeah.
It's a little bit more washed out than both of them. But I still wouldn't say it's a bad-looking display.
Yeah, but the 34XX, I think, just outdoes both of them. The 3.5 is slightly better for my eyes there as far as saturation goes compared to the V90S, but man, that 34XX SP screen just wins. That just wins. It's very vivid. It is the smallest screen, though, so if real estate matters to you, you have older, aging eyes, you might want to consider a little bit bigger screen. All right, with that, everybody, we do need to get out of here. Seriously, I did not expect to go this long.
Believe it or not, there's a lot to talk about.
There's actually a lot to talk about for this one. I was like, this will be a one and done. You know, we can get through this, no problem. It's not a lot to cover. But really, like, I love clamshells, you know? I love the portability of them. I love how they're just accessible. I can throw them in a backpack in my pocket. I can go camping. I can just bring them around the world. A clamshell is the most meaningful, best form factor for a handheld in general. Now, I'm growing on the slide factor. I still don't love that the screen is always exposed, so I do keep it in its case. And I don't have to worry about that with any of these. I barely own cases for any of my clams. They work as is. And oftentimes, you know, I've been bringing around the Retroid Pocket Flip 2 because it's so nice and it plays everything. I've been bringing this around more often. But man, if you just want something small, throw in your pocket, you know, get through your day, pick up a retro game, play through it a little bit here and there. I really enjoy having a form factor of this size, a little bit smaller form factor with the true 4:3 or 3:2 aspect ratios. And so with that in mind, both of these Anbernics are just where it's at for that right now. The Miyoo Flip, again, is just not right now. Maybe a V3, we'll see. And the V90, sorry, we're not there yet. Soon, hopefully, maybe an iteration with Wi-Fi. that'd be awesome, everybody. But until the next time, let's go ahead and get out of here. We have some music. If you would like to support what we do around here, you can always consider buying merch. We have a lot of different options in our merch shop these days, not just our logo. We have some fun memes that are up there now. We have some fun different things that you can pick up. And don't forget as well to, where's my usual thing? We do have nice perks if you want to join our membership program, whether it be a YouTube member, a Discord member, or a Patreon member. All of it supports us, and we really appreciate it. There are tiers from $3, and then our Discord and Patreon, we also have a $5 and a $10 tier, which gives you extra perks, Game of the Month bonuses. You can earn swag and merch from us for free eventually, and you can get free merch points if you play our Game of the Month program, which all that is just playing games and then posting your screenshot when you're done with the game, and you get points. And then eventually you do get free merch that way as well. But we appreciate the support. Until the next time, though, I want to thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share to stay in the know for all of your favorite retro handhelds. And I want to say a special thanks again to those channel members, those patrons, those subscribers for making everything here possible for us. Don't forget, we are going to be back at it every Monday with our live podcast at 6 p.m. Pacific. We're going to be doing more of these device live streams. We're going to keep iterating on this formula and trying to make it tighter, more concise, and just give you the most value for your time. We don't want it to be like a regular live stream where we just, go nuts or whatever and just have it be a party. While that is fun, we want it to have it be a very informative, brief, as much as possible experience for you to get information, to where we don't need to make as many produced big huge videos. It's like this is a raw, uncut, direct, from the mouth to your ear thoughts, unfiltered. And I think there is value in that, and I think that maybe is what many of you want to hear more often from us. And if that's the case, let me know in the comments, let me know in live chat, and I'd love to keep building on this and doing this better and better and better. Yes. But until then, and the next one, we have Mr. Ban and me. We both want to say, Ban, you want to say the phrase?
Take care of your handhelds and take care of each other.
And we mean it.
We really mean it.
Thanks for hanging, everybody.